The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phones. Stitcher Radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter radio.
Andy, yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Wednesday, 22nd day of June, 2016. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. The Dow is down. Make that up for the third day in a row, 15 points. NASDAQ is up 18. S&P 500 is up 5.5. Russell 2000 is up 5. Turning to our commodities, we've got crude oil down 72 cents. Gold down $2.70. In Asia, the Nikkei is down 103. Shanghai up 27. Hang Seng up 126. And in Europe, the DAX up 55. FTSE up 34. And the CAC up 12. Slowly but surely, equities are climbing around the world as the odds makers tell us the chance of a Brexit becomes slimmer and slimmer. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. All right, we're going to cut the show short today. I've got an emergency dental appointment. I'm sure many of you have had those in your day. So I have one that has just become urgent. So we're going to go to Michael, let him take care of his recap of the live trading room. I'll be back, have a few words for you, and then we'll be out of here. for the day, and we'll be back in the live trading room again tomorrow morning. So, Michael, if you're ready, take it away.
Okay, I got it. Okay, you should be looking at my spreadsheet. Hang on, waiting. Still waiting. There it is. Alright, now I'm going to hit my record button. As soon as I find it, there it is. Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd day of June 2016. Today in the live trading room, we made 5 ticks profit on the soybeans. We lost 2 on the euro. We made 10 on crude, and we lost 7 on gold. Okay, today it took us 20 minutes and 4 trades to get to 122.50, and we took a total of 14 trades. On the month now, gross profit of $3,812. That's over 16 trading days, averaging $238 a day. Now, if you apply an $8 commission to every trade we've taken, you'd have a net profit of $1,924. If you apply a $5 commission, you'd have a net profit of $2,632. Okay. Gross profit on the year is now $29,306. $29,306. So it's over 116 trading days. And what do we have left this month in trading days? I believe we have 4, 5, 6 trading days left this month. So what did we want to be? 29,000. Last year, what did we end with? 81,580. But at the midpoint of the year, we were only at, I think we were at 28,000. So we're above where we were last year at this point. Anyway, 29,306 over 116 trading days. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to the homepage at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column, it says register for a free trial. Put in your name, put in your email, click on register for a free trial. When you do that, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link, okay? You must click that link. If you don't click that link, you do not get the free trial. Simple as that, all right? All right, let's get into the trades. Gold we'll start out with. And doesn't look like there was much here during the break. One long trade right here was pretty much it. Yep, one long trade during the break. But we'll go back to the beginning here. On gold, we started out, once it populates for us, there we go. We started out right here. We got 1 tick profit on this trade right here. Okay. And then we had a break even, and we stopped out -8 ticks. So we were at -7 at that point, and that's where we ended the day. Okay. And there was just one possible long trade right in here during the break. Not much happening though. Okay. On the YM today, we didn't take any trades on the YM, but look at how choppy it is. Look at this. It's just a total mess. Now, Yellen was speaking again. Right here during the break, there was a shorting opportunity. 2 of them actually, one there and one there. But during the live trading room, I don't feel like we missed anything here on the YM. And the ES was in and out of a zone. But we didn't have a single trade here. I'm waiting until my computer catches up here. There we go. All right. Yeah, we didn't have a single trade. And I don't feel like we missed much. Maybe a short trade right here. Right here. Would have ended up at break even. A long trade right here. Might have gotten some profit out of that. But let's take a look at the ES right now too. Okay. I'm sure if the YM was really choppy like I showed you, the ES was probably the same way. See what I mean about the zone? It was in and out of this zone all during the break and just flat all morning. Had one long opportunity right in here, another long momentum trade right here that would have been a break even. And that was about it on the ES. Okay. Crude oil today. We only took a couple of trades on crude. This one right here for 10 ticks profit. And there was another one in here where we got a break even. Another one somewhere in here. This was the crude inventory numbers. I had said sell 49.85. And if you did, you had some opportunity to take profit on that. This was the other break-even trade we had right there. Those were the only two trades we took on crude. Now, I was expecting crude to get back up into this level up here, but it hasn't done it yet. Okay. Nope, it actually went much deeper than 49.85. Soybeans were good to us today after being evil to us yesterday. We were at one point we were up 13 ticks on the beans. Our first trade of the day, no, not our first trade of the day, but where we got our goal for the day was on soybeans. We took a 9-tick profit on one trade here on the beans, which we will get to shortly as my computer catches up. Okay. We had a 9-tick and a 4-tick win. Right here. 9 ticks on that one and 4 ticks on that one put me at 13. Then we stopped out there, putting us back down to 5. And that was all the trading we did on the soybeans. Okay, we'll scroll the other way and see if we can identify any trades during the break. Possibly a short trade right here during the break. Okay. And the euro. Let's look at this euro. Okay. Well, the euro had some movement during the break. But let's get back to the trading that we did on the euro. We ended with -2. We traded the euro more than any other market today. And we ended with -2 ticks. But let's just get back here. There we go. All right. So on the euro, we had a short trade right here. This was in the pre-market. There was a short trade right in there. Lots of movement here. At 9 a.m., I forgot what was going on. Draghi was speaking or something like that, I think. Okay, but we started trading in here. Our first trade on the euro was right here, and we had a break even on that. No, that was yesterday. Sorry. We went too far. Draghi was speaking at 9 a.m. yesterday. Hang on. Let me get it to today. Really? Okay. Here is today. No. The first trade may not have been a break even. Yeah, it was, after all. The first trade was a break even. Our second trade, we missed this one right here. Then we took 10 ticks profit there. So we're at plus 10. Missed a trade there and there. Come on, computer. And stopped out pretty much to the tick on that one. Put us back down to plus 2. Missed a trade there and there. And here we got 1 tick profit. Missed another trade. We had a break even on that one. Then 3 ticks profit on the next one, I think. Oh, no, okay, this wasn't break even. This was 3 ticks profit right here to get us at plus 6. And then we stopped out to put us back to -2. And that was it for us on the euro. that was our day. So let's look here. If you have not taken a free trial with us, then hang on, let me look at the questions. If you have not taken a free trial with us, then just go here to the homepage at CFRN.net. In the right-hand column where it says register for a free trial. Put in your name, put in your email, click on register for a free trial. Okay, you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click that confirmation link. Okay, now, on the day, we're +5 on beans, -2 on the euro, +10 on crude oil, and -7 on gold. It took us 20 minutes and 4 trades to get to 122.50, and we took a total of 14 trades. On the month, we're up 38.12.50 over 16 trading days, averaging 238 a day. And on the year, we're up 29.306 over 116 trading days, averaging 252 per day. Okay, and that is it. With that, I can stop the recording, and we can head out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, if you are ready. Phoenix must not be ready.
No, I'll be right there.
Okay, well, okay. All right. Well, while we wait, you see the ES is coming out of a weekly trading zone right now. So the YM is probably dropping with it. Looks like it is. And the euro probably going up. Gold oddly sideways. And the soybeans. There's the trend line on the beans. Okay. All right. Well, the soybeans need to close below this trend line to give us a short trade. The euro over here looks to be starting to set up a long trade, which it should if the YM and the ES are going down. Then I would think that the indexes would, the currencies would go up. Okay. That's what I would think.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
All right, guys. S&P 500 Emini Futures. As you can see, we've gone a whole lot of nowhere all week long. Mike, enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
This is the open Sunday night. And the low, we opened, this was a gap higher open. We opened at 2071. And we've put in a swing high on the week of 2091.25. So we've got a 20-point range over the entire week, unless we've got a higher high here. That's 2092. So we'll call it a 22-point range for the entire week on the S&P. That's pretty sleepy stuff. Now, we just got back below the trigger again. We had a 3.25-point run, a 4-point run, a 10.25-point run, and now we're awaiting to see if there's going to be another run. And the simplest way for you to kind of get a handle on that is to watch this low right here, even a little couple ticks below. Once that's taken out, start looking at the sell side. Otherwise, wait for a repeat, okay, because the markets are bullish. Word on the street is the Brexit ain't gonna happen, okay? Now, if we get a lot of bullishness built up into the fact that the Brexit ain't gonna happen, and then the Brexit don't happen, here's what happens. The bottom falls out of the market. Hopefully that makes real good sense. We're trading as high as 2091.92 today, and our highest weekly zone is 2108/2109. We're going to have the answers to all these questions tomorrow. That's when the vote takes place. So how the market reacts to that is anybody's business. My recommendation is that you be flat ahead of that vote. Whether you swing trade, position trade, I don't care what kind of trading you do, because you don't know what effect it's going to ultimately have in the market. And because this is much bigger than a Fed announcement, this could affect the markets for not only 15 minutes or an hour, but this could be days, this could be weeks. We don't know. This literally reshapes the world as we know it. Now, do I think we'll have blown past it in 30 days? I do. But between now and then, anything's possible, including absolutely nothing. Okay? So, that's how the deck is stacked. So we had 3 nice trading opportunities on the S&P 500 last night. Now remember, I told you we're going to move quickly today because I had to get to the dentist. On the Dow, we had a 27-point move, a 27-point move, and an 80-point move. Okay, that was off of the recommendation to buy at 11 or 17,745. Everyone who receives the Concierge Trade Alerts got this email in their inbox last night. So if you didn't make money in the market today, I'm truly sorry, but I have to tell you, it's not my fault. There was $300 available in the Russell and $700 available in the Russell based on the alert I sent you. Gold's been mighty good to us. It's about time for it to have a flat day. Let's see exactly what happened. The alert went out last night at 10:45, so that's 22:45. So we're going to put our line at 2300, which is right there. Okay, and on gold, we were looking to buy 50.20. How about? That's the number for crude. On gold, we were looking to buy 12.75, which did not come into play. And we were looking to sell 12.70, which did come into play and was profitable. So there's 12.70. Okay, swing low off of 1270 down to 1263.80. So at 63.80 we round up to 64 because we can, and that gives us $600 per contract. Per contract available. in the first 1 hour. Okay. Alert comes out, first trigger, 30 minutes, $600 per contract. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested for some 1270. We go back down to 65.70, which will round up to 26. And from 26 to 70, we'll call that 40 ticks at $10 per tick, which is $400 per contract. We never get out at the exact swing high or the exact swing low. Why? Because we trail our stop. Now, if you're brand new and you're trading with a hard target, and your hard target was at 10 points to make your $100 per contract per day, the good news is you hit it. Important prices, important areas. Here we go again. Okay. This time we drop it down to 66.30. So that's 37 ticks or $370. Gold has been incredibly generous with us of late. And we'll leave it go at that. There's 600, there's 400, there's 37, and then there's some raggedy little trading right there. Okay, let's go to crude oil. Big day in the crude market. Now, today's Wednesday, and so the alert comes out at 10:30. So from this point down, we can't count that, okay, because that's news-based and not technical-based. Now, the deal on crude was to buy, well, let's drop our marker, 2,300. All right, we were looking to buy 50.20. It's right here. Okay. So we got a false start and a pullback, and then away we go. And from 50.20, we traveled all the way to, well, we need to catch this one. 50.20, we went to 48, so that's 28 points, or 28 ticks, or $280 per contract. Remember, you only need 10 if you're trading the blueprint. And then important prices, important areas, almost always tested. And here we go again, from 50.20 to 54. So that's 34 ticks or $340 per contract. Okay. All right. And we actually poke up here to 28, and then we poke up here to 35. Okay. At that point, we get into the alert here at 10:30. So I don't want to count that, because I would always tell you to stand down at that point. Had you taken the sell side, which was 49.80, would it have paid you handsomely? It would. It also could have given you a shave and a haircut and no bits. So we'll settle for this. In Q, what do we got? Okay, let's drop our marker, 2300. Okay. Buy 4402. Okay. And from 4402, we get up to a whopping 4404 and a quarter. It's 2 1/4 points. How many points do we need? We need 5. So 2 1/4 does not 5 make. Okay. Next high. Buying 4402, we got up to a swing high of 4407.75, so that's 5 3/4. So that move was enough to pay the bill. 5 3/4, and then the next swing high was 4412.50. 4402 to 4412.50, so that's 10.50. Remember, you only need 5 points. Call it 10. There was 2 1/4, 4 3/4. There was 10. Important prices, important areas, almost always tested. Remember, the idea here was to buy 4402. On all of this, and the swing high here was 44.34, so that gave us 32 points. $44.02, the swing high of 44.34, 32 points. Okay. All right. Next, what do we got? Bonds. Do we have anything in bonds? Yes. Bonds, we had a 6-point drop, selling at 167.10. On the Dow, we already covered the Dow. We covered the S&P. We covered the Dow. Bonds, Dow, gold, which was very nice. Crude oil. Which was very nice. In Q, explicit. Remember, you only needed 5 points to reach your daily goal of $100 per contract per day. And if you're following the 2420 blueprint, that's designed to take you from 1 to 20 contracts over a period of 24 months. Okay? All right. Last but not least, we have our soybeans, and let's drop a marker at 2300. Okay, and on soybeans, we wanted to buy 1117, sell 1104. Okay. 1117 came in right about here. There we go. Swing high was 1117 to 1120 1/4. That's 3.25. It's 3 1/4 points. Now, how many points do you need? 2. That's all. $50 a point, 2 points gives you your $100 per contract per day. And then on the next swing high, we went from 1117 all the way up to 1123.50. So that was 6.5 points. Think of soybeans as the S&P because they both pay $12.50 per tick, and they both pay $50 per point. Okay, so this is over a $300 per contract move in this 30-minute candle here, and it looks like it's getting ready to take off again. So keep an eye on that. Okay. Last but not least, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to go to our good word for the day. And then I'm going to clock out and go see the doc. Yep. Never a fun thing, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Especially when you become a man of a certain age. And some of you are more certain than I am. All right, here's a big question. How do you please God? If you had to answer that, think for a moment. Just think. Would you pray? Would you feed the hungry, clothe the naked, house the homeless? What would you do to please God? What's your conception of pleasing God? 1 Peter 2:20 says, if you suffer for doing good and endure it patiently, God is pleased with you. You become like the people you spend the most time with. Now, there's a very popular book out for the last few years that has to deal with that very topic. It says you become the person you spend the most with, the 5 people you spend the most time with. You absorb a little bit from this guy, a little bit from this guy. You get the accent from this guy. You get the funny walk from this guy. You get the profanity from that guy. You follow me? You're like a sponge, a human sponge. And so whoever you surround yourself with, you soak up a little here, a little there, a little here, a little there, till you're full. Full of yourself? No. Full of everybody else. That's not what God wanted. You become like the people you spend the most time with, so choose your friends carefully. If you spend time with angry, resentful people, you risk becoming an angry, resentful person yourself. That's because attitudes are contagious. Now, here's a wonderful little story that illustrates the point. A man purchased a newspaper at a newsstand every day. He always greeted the vendor very courteously, but in return received a very gruff and discourteous service. The vendor would rudely shove the newspaper in his face. The man, however, would politely smile and wish him a nice day. Don't you hate people like that? No. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to love those kind of people. This went on for several days until a friend asked, "Does he always treat you this rudely?" The man replied, "Unfortunately, he does." The questioner asked, "Are you always so polite and friendly to him?" The man replied, "Yes, I am." The questioner continued, "Why are you so nice to him when he's so rude to you?" The man replied, "Because I don't want him to determine how I'm going to act." The Bible says, if you suffer for doing good and endure it patiently, God is pleased with you. For God called you to do good, even if it means suffering. Just as Christ suffered for you, he is your example, and you must follow in his steps. He never sinned, nor ever deceived anyone. He did not retaliate when he was insulted, nor threaten revenge when he suffered. He left his case in the hands of God, who always judges fairly. That's 1 Peter 2:20 through 23. So if you're wondering how God wants you to please him, that's where you go for directions. 1 Peter 2:20 through 23. And that's our good word for the day. Alan says, I think I heard you mention something on the weekly zones, but I missed the prices. Could you repeat what info you shared? No, I didn't mention... Oh, on the weekly trading zones. Yes, I said that the highest weekly zone is 2108/2109. And so when they yank the Brexit tomorrow, if that's what they do, we could potentially see price shoot up as high as 2108/2109. In fact, it's possible we could see it climb even higher. Okay? But by close of business Friday, we expect it to be back down to 2109 or lower. Okay? You're very welcome, Alan. My pleasure. Okay. Now again, we've had a high of this week right around 2092. And we've had a low on the week. Looks like the low on the week was where we opened. 2070. And then we came back to test that area right here. In fact, it's Wednesday. There's 20. Oh, don't tell me I got the wrong one. Oh, I got the wrong one, man. How did I do that? It's been a long time since that happened. Double click it. None of the stuff down here to manipulate it and change it and correct it. That's so aggravating. 2073. I'm going to share with you. Thought it would be a rather simple thing, but apparently not. And you know what? This is the most recent upgrade. So maybe the most recent upgrade doesn't do that. Isn't that a drag? Huh. 73, 74, low on the week. Okay. 86, 87. Zone. It's the same old stuff. It's nothing new. Okay, so there we went from zone to zone to zone to zone to zone to zone. Just like we were trapped in that zone last week. Here we remain trapped again this week. So, we'll see what happens. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-host, and guest. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.
You're listening to Luke's Gospel, investigating the man who is God. In this sermon series, Pastor Mark Driscoll examines Luke's New Testament account about Jesus, the man who claimed to be God. For more audio and video content, visit marshillchurch.org.
Howdy, Mars Hill. Today we are in Luke chapter 14, verses 12 through 24, the parable of the great banquet. While you're finding your spot in your Bible or on your app, let me ask you a question. Go back with me. Think about it. What's the best meal you've ever eaten? What's the best party? Not sinful, where did I park my car, whose lampshade is this party, but non-party you've ever been to. Those great epic banquets, feasts. Was it a wedding? Was it the birth of a child? Was it a birthday party? Was it an anniversary celebration? Was it a graduation party? Thinking back, looking back in your life, the biggest, best party you've ever been to, and the best meal you've ever eaten. Usually the centerpiece of a good party is a great feast. I asked Gracie, my wife, this, honey, what are your favorite meals you've ever had? And we had this kind of fun conversation. I found out that my wife is very high maintenance. She said that she loved it when we went to the herb farm, which is supposed to be one of the best meals literally in the country, over in Woodinville. We both also like El Gaucho, great place for a steak. They'll do flaming Chateaubriand at the table for two. They'll do flaming cherries Jubilee or flaming bananas Foster at the table, so you get lots of fire, which is pretty fantastic. The sides are amazing. The corn is great. She also said that she liked it when we went to a place called Iceberg. It was our anniversary. We were in Sydney, Australia, and we went to a place on Bondi Beach where films have been shot and some of the Olympics were held. And it was this epic, fantastic night. Sun was setting over Bondi Beach, and we're eating at Iceberg right on this cliff overlooking the water. We had the most fantastic time. I've got pictures of us just snuggled up and kissing and enjoying one another and having a great anniversary there. She also said that one of her favorite meals is a meal that we ate when we were in Cape Town, one of the most beautiful cities in the world. We were in Cape Town together. Again, a restaurant overlooking the water at sunset. And we also had a really beautiful meal together that she enjoyed when we were in Jerusalem, right on the beach around the time of her birthday with some dear friends of ours. So when we travel, and by God's grace we get to travel quite a bit, we like to go out to really nice restaurants, build a fantastic memory, have an epic feast. And Grace talked about those being her favorite meals, her favorite memories, her favorite times. Mine? Well, probably my most favorite of all was at Red Robin, of all places. And that was my first date with Gracie. We were 17 years old. It was March 12th, 1988. We were on our very first date. And I thought she was so cute. At the time, she had naturally curly hair like springs. If you'd pull it, it would bounce back up. And she was just as cute as could be. And I was absolutely smitten with her. And it was our big first date. And here I am, 17-year-old guy. I got my 1956 Chevy that I owned at the time. Should have kept it, got rid of it. One of the dumbest things I've ever done. And I picked up Gracie, and we went downtown. And so we went to a Red Robin that's no longer open, and we had our first meal together as 17-year-old high school kids. I think we both had burgers. I was so nervous that on more than one occasion throughout the course of the meal, I actually got up and went to the bathroom, not because I had to go to the bathroom, just because I was sort of freaking out. I really liked being with her, and I was pretty nervous. And looking back on it, Gracie and I were talking the other night when we were snuggled up, and she said that she was nervous as well, and she wouldn't eat in front of me because somehow she felt nervous and uncomfortable. So she'd wait for me to go to the bathroom, and then she'd eat really fast, and then she'd just talk to me when we were back together. That was our first big date time together. Went for a walk along the waterfront, put pennies on the tracks for the trolley so we'd have a little memory of a crushed penny, and went for a walk on a beach in another part of the city and sat by the fire and visited. And that was such a fantastic, wonderful time together. It kind of began our life together, going in a really beautiful direction by God's grace. Some of my other favorite meals and memories more recently included my 40th birthday last fall. We had a chef over to the house and had a bunch of friends over. Nate, my assistant, set up something similar in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We had a great meal outside with Pastor Dave and his family and Nate and his family. And what I learned looking back on it is I love to eat outside. I love fresh air and sunshine. When I was a little boy, I built forts and literally tried to move out of the house into my own place in the yard when I was about 4 or 5. I love eating outside if the weather permits it. I love eating in a place where we're not rushed and there's not a crowd, where you could just hang out with your friends and talk and visit, and if it lasts for hours, then that's okay. And really a great banquet, a great feast, a great event. It really has a great place. So you're in a place that's nice and conducive and you can hang out. It's also including and requires a good meal, and some friends or some people that you're in the process of making friends, getting to know them, talking with them. People are fascinating, curious, interesting, and you put those variables together and you have this fantastic memory. Well, this leads us into Jesus' story, and I would say it's actually a good thing for you. Be thinking about the favorite meal you've ever eaten, the favorite memory you've ever made around a banquet, a feast, or a holiday. And the Bible talks a lot about these things. When it comes to issues of eating and food, the Bible speaks of those things over 1,000 times. Just the word feast and derivatives thereof appear over 180 times in the Bible. So the Bible has a lot to say about food and feasting and friendship. And one way of actually looking at human history is as a course of meals. That everything went bad in the garden, where our first parents ate a meal without God. And then later on, God's people eat a meal with God called the Passover, remembering that God covers their sin and passes over their sin. This leads as well to the coming of Jesus, who frequently eats with people. We've seen it repeatedly in Luke that God becomes a man, and a lot of his time is spent over meals with friends and foes. Additionally, this leads all the way up to Jesus' teaching today, and will culminate at something called the Last Supper, where Jesus sits down to have a fantastic meal, a banquet, a feast, a Passover celebration with his disciples. Jesus ultimately dies, rises from death, and one of the first things he does is he has a meal with some of his friends. He actually has a breakfast meal. Jesus continues to eat with family and friends and neighbors until he ascends into heaven. And Revelation 19 says that the end of human history is going to be this magnificent party, this fantastic feast, this banquet, the best meal you've ever eaten, the best party you've ever been to. And so Jesus, during his teaching while he was on the earth, before he returned to heaven to get this party set up for us in the kingdom of God, he taught a lot about the kingdom of God, and he used the language of feasting and of festivals and of celebrating and of banquets. And we see one of those occasions today in Luke chapter 14, where we learn that Jesus' kingdom is a party. Jesus' kingdom is a party. Luke 14, 12 through 14, he said also to the man who had invited him, when you give a dinner or a banquet, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or rich neighbors, lest they also invite you in return and you be repaid. But when you give a feast, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed, because they cannot repay you, for you will be repaid at the resurrection of the just. Here's my question to you. What's your picture of heaven like? What's your picture of the eternal state like? After we rise from death in glorified new bodies, what do you think eternity will be like? For some people, it looks horrendous. They think it's nothing but a long, boring church service. Or worse still, I don't know who is in charge of the marketing for heaven, but that guy needs to find another job. Maybe your view of heaven is tragically something like this. Look at that guy. Those wings are far too small to carry him anywhere interesting. And this is kind of this stylized, idealized, discouraging view of the eternal state. My assumption is right now, if I invited you all to this eternal existence and we did an altar call, no one would come forward. There's nothing appealing or compelling about that at all. In fact, it's ridiculous. One of my major achievements in life was getting out of a diaper, and one of my primary objectives is to never again wear one. What does Jesus have to say about heaven? If the guys will put the slide back of the previous verse. He said it's like a dinner or a banquet. It's like a party. Who doesn't love a party? I think one of the reasons that human beings love to get together and have feasts and celebrations and parties, this includes holidays of various sorts and kinds, is that we were made in the image and likeness of God. Our God is a good, happy, joyous, celebratory, living God. Our God knows how to throw a good party. Our God is going to throw the party that literally end all parties, and made in his image and likeness, we long for parties, we desire parties. And one of the most atrocious things that has happened is that Christians don't party as often as they should or as well as they should, because for us, we have what is not necessarily a redeemed view of a banquet, a feast, and a party. Some people say, well, we don't want to be gluttons and we don't want to be drunkards and we just don't want to be pleasure seekers. And the answer is, well, we want to be worshipers. And worshipers of God are to live wholeheartedly, full-throatedly, passionately for the glory of God and the good of others. And we are given so much grace by God that we should have a sense of joy and celebration and enthusiasm. And we should get together regularly, not just when it's holidays, but to enjoy one another, the grace of God, throw a banquet, a feast, and a party in anticipation, preparation, and expectation for the eternal state, where we rise from death and we're together forever with God and his people. So Jesus says it's like a banquet or a party. And so what he goes on to articulate is that this kingdom party, it has a generous menu, has a very generous menu. When he uses language of banquet, he goes on to talk as well about feast. He's talking about a massive investment, a great expense. Some of you are too cheap. Some of you don't spend enough money for big events and parties. Some of you will have the attitude of, let's say, Judas Iscariot, who when a woman gave a lavish gift to Jesus, Judas, who was the betrayer and the thief, he said, oh, we could have given that money to the poor. Well, sometimes it's good to spend money and to spend it lavishly and to invite the poor. That's exactly what Jesus says. We don't have a greed motivating us. We have a generosity motivating us. It's good to spend some money, to get dressed up, to throw a great party. And what Jesus says is, don't just be generous with the menu. Be generous with the menu. Also be generous with the guest list. don't just invite those people that are already your friends. It's fine to get together with your friends,